about Venn diagrams. Venn diagrams are a way that we can compare and contrast different pieces of information. You can use Venn diagrams in a lot of different content areas. In mathematics specifically, we can use Venn diagrams to compare and contrast numbers. Venn diagrams are made up of two circles, and there's always two separate categories. In this case, in the blue circle, we're going to have factors of 10 as our category. In the red circle, we're going to have factors of 30 as our category. Where you see the two circles overlap, which here we have red and blue, that's going to be an indication of a number that belongs in both the factors of 10 and the factors of 30 category. So it's going to go in the middle. In order to really fill out our Venn diagram, what we're going to need to do right now is we're going to need to come up with the factors of 10 and the factors of 30 so we know what we're working with. So over here, I'm going to list the factors of 10. And if I do a quick factor rainbow, we can see I have 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. Over here, we're going to list the factors of 30. If I do a factor rainbow, I have 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, and in here we're going to have 5 and 6. And I spit that in a little small there. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to find factors that are in common to both 10 and 30. So that's going to mean factors that I see in both rainbows. I see 1, 2, 5, and 10. 1, 2, 5, and 10 in both lists. So in this case, 1, 2, 5, and 10 belong in the middle. Now, over here, I don't actually have any numbers that are just factors of 10, but not factors of 30. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to leave this circle blank. There's nothing that's going to go just in the blue circle because that would mean that they would be numbers that only belonged in factors of 10. Over here, however, there are some numbers that are simply factors of 30. We're going to have 3, 15, 6, and 30. And these are numbers that are specifically factors of 30, but not factors of 10. So we're going to put that in the red circle. In some cases, a problem might ask you to include all numbers 1 to 30, meaning to include numbers that aren't factors of 10 and aren't factors of 30. So for example, the number 4. Number 4 didn't fall in either list. So what we would do is we would actually put that outside the Venn diagram. That would let somebody know that you considered the number 4, but you knew that it didn't belong in either of these three sections. Some other numbers that would be the case are 7, 8, 9, and we could go on and list all the numbers that don't belong. Usually they'll give you some stipulations where they want you to stop at a certain point, like maybe go all the way up to 30, like I said, since that's the highest factor here that we include in our Venn diagram. But essentially, a Venn diagram allows you to compare two things. Anything that they have similar goes in the middle. Anything that would be unique would stay in the blue circle. Anything that would be unique to factors of 30 would stay in the red circle. And that way now we can look at numbers and say, wow, the number 5 is both a factor of 10 and a factor of 30. Venn diagrams we'll use a little bit later to really help us understand some things as far as what we're going to call greatest common factors and least common multiples, but that's something that we'll talk about in a little bit. You can begin to look at the videos on least common multiple and greatest common factor if you're interested in seeing them.